What's up, guys? Swears backing up on the video, and in today I have a part 2 to my NBA free agency review slash overview of teams. And today's team is going to be the Utah Jazz, so let's get into it. I think the Utah Jazz probably had a top 5 free agency this year. I mean, they got a lot of really good players to help fill out their roster, improve the depth, improve the team dramatically. So let's just get into it. For me, going into free agency, I thought the Jazz were already going to be clear winners because they had traded for Mike Conley, getting Donovan Mitchell, that second ball handling co-star. I mean, he already had his second. I don't know if you would call him a star or a superstar in Rudy Gobert, but you know, he obviously isn't the piece that Mike Conley is. As I say star, I mean like a second fiddle, a guy who's a scorer, a second scorer. That's what I meant to say. So getting into it, anything they would have done from that point on would have just been adding on and just been a plus. So, and they did a lot. So starting off, I just want to discuss their losses. Losing out on Derek Favors obviously is a big loss. Derek Favors is a great defender for you guys. He would have been a great backup center. That's what I think his role should have been, at least a center position, if not a backup. I mean, he was probably going to be a backup considering Rudy Gobert is their starting center. He's an all defensive, back-to-back defensive player of the year type guy. Obviously, he won't be coming off the bench. So yeah, and I mean, when they would play together, Rudy Gobert and Derek Favors, it just wasn't good. The spacing was horrible, and it just disrupted the flow of the game. So you had to move on. It's a pretty big loss. I mean, Derek Favors is a great player. He's a great defender, great rebounder. So we'll see how they come back from that. But also losing out, waiving Raul Neto isn't really that big of a loss. So yeah, but now let's get into what they gained, and I think they gained a lot, and I think they had top 3 gainage in this NBA free agency. I mean, besides teams like the Nets, who gained 2 superstars, and maybe the Lakers if they can get Kawhi. Thinking about other teams that gained a lot. Philadelphia had a good game. Miami, the Warriors. But compared to what they lost, I don't know. So getting into it, first off, they went out and signed Bojan Bogdanovic, and what a great signing. I mean, you talk about a guy who's a 17 to 18 point per game guy in this past season. That shows he's a great scorer. He's a great shooter, amazing shooter, and should just open the floor up so much for Donovan Mitchell, Mike Conley on this team. If you talk about a potential starting lineup for them, it would probably be Mike Conley, Donovan Mitchell, Bojan Bogdanovic, Joe Ingles, and then Rudy Gobert. That's a great lineup for spacing purposes. You have the defense, you have the playmaking, you have the scoring. You have everything in that lineup, and it'll just be great. It'll just be great. I love that signing 100%. And the signing was relatively cheap deal to what he was possibly going to get. I mean, 4 years, 73 mil. You're paying him less than 20 mil per game. You're paying him around what? That's around. Now that I'm doing quick calculations, I'm not really too sure. That's around 16, 17, 18, like 18-ish mil per year. Great value. That's amazing value for a player on the caliber of Bojan Bogdanovic. I mean, if you're talking about other guys, what they got, I mean, what's his face? Ricky Rubio, got basically the same contract, and Bojan Bogdanovic is obviously a better player than him. So great value. I think that's probably the best value signing this year, besides maybe like Dwayne Denman. I think was a great value signing for the Kings, but great pickup for them. I really love that. Next up, after picking up Bojan Bogdanovic and trading for Mike Conley, most of us thought maybe they weren't going to do anything else because, well, they didn't really have any other money to do anything else. But they were able to do a lot with the limited cap they had, signing Emmanuel Mudiay and Jeff Green, 2 great players. Oh my, let's just talk about it. Emmanuel Mudiay was drafted high for the Nuggets. Obviously, didn't have the best start to his career, but had a slight resurgence, I guess we can say, in New York. Played well, and now on this 1-year deal, prove it type deal, he'll be a backup for you. An insurance policy, I guess you can say, just in case Dante Exum, is injured, because he is a dangerous player. Like, danger as in, I don't know if you can trust him to be your backup because he's injured a lot. So you have that assurance with Emmanuel Mudiay, which is great. And then signing Jeff Green to a 1-year min deal. Jeff Green is a great NBA player, great veteran presence in the locker room, can do it all basically. Had great days on the Cavs. When he was with the Cavs, he was pretty good for them. He was very important for them in their playoff push, had some good games, and he was pretty good for Washington last year too. So should be a great player. And yeah, I expect good things from them. Also replacing Derek Favors with Ed Davis was a great replacement. I mean, you talk about what can Ed Davis give you that Derek Favors can. I don't think Ed Davis is the better defender at all. I think Derek Favors is a better defender, probably the better rebounder, the better overall player. But I mean, for what you gained for losing Derek Favors, so to say, it's definitely worth it. Ed Davis can come in and give you 60 to 70% of what Derek Favors can. And you don't need him to give you a lot, because you still have Rudy Gobert, who can be that defensive anchor who's going to play a lot of minutes for you guys. So, yeah, that's it for the free agency moves. To wrap it up, I think now, before, I don't know, I was kind of skeptical on this team, even with the Mike Conley trade, if they would be able to make a push, just considering the fact they don't have that third scorer slash, you know, shooting slash go-to guy. I mean, yes, you do have Mike Conley and Donovan Mitchell, but you wanted that third guy that you can rely on if, you know, those two aren't having the best games. I mean, Rudy Gobert, he's not a ball handler. He can't shoot off the dribble. He can't score the ball. You know, he's a great post player, you know, who does a lot near the rim. But now you got that guy in Bojan Bogdanovic who can give you 16 to 17 to 18 points per game on 40 to 42%, 43, 44% shooting from three, which is always great. You know, some people do have some questions about how, you know, they had this defensive philosophy or this defensive chemistry. You know, when you look at the Jazz, you know, you look at how they have that great defense. You know, that's what their motto has been for these past couple of years. And maybe they are going away for that, you know, trading away guys like Jay Crowder and getting rid of Derek Favors, who were two of their best defenders, so to say. And then, you know, you also trade Grayson Allen, who, you know, he's a gritty guy. So it'll be interesting to see how their team does, you know, with all these defensive players, you know, leaving, you know, losing these defensive players. But I think they'll be fine still, you know. And in this league now, it's an offensive league. I know you know, you can still win with incredible defense, but, you know, offense rules, and that's how it is in most sports now. Offense, you know, you need to have great offense, and if you do, you'll be a great team. And I think this team will be great. If I had to predict, let me just think. With how everything else shapes out, I think this team is a top 3 to 4 seed in the West. I mean, if you talk about the teams that'll probably be up there, the Lakers, the Nuggets, and then what? Maybe the Rockets can, if they get off to a bad start like they did last year. I doubt it. So I don't know about them. That's one thing I want to talk about really quick with the Rockets. People act like the Rockets are a trash team. The reason they are an NBA championship right now is because of the Warriors. So the Rockets are definitely still in the championship race as of right now, in my eyes. So yeah, there's that. I just wanted to get a quick topic on that. But overall, I can definitely see a top 3 to top 4 seed for them. And maybe they can make the Western Conference Finals. If they have a seeding, you know, matchup like the Trailblazers did last year, I could definitely see them making the playoffs. So that's going to be off. Oh my goodness, fireworks going off. But that's going to be it for me, guys. I hope you guys did enjoy this video. I'm really excited for the Jazz this year. You know, I think they'll do big things, but it's So Sports, and I'm out. Peace.